Imagine you are a mayor of a city. A river flows right through it. For years, everything is fine. People build homes, businesses grow, life goes on. Then one year, a river rises. A little at first, then more, then more. Within days, entire neighborhoods are underwater. Roads disappear, bridges are unsuitable, and thousands of people are forced to leave their homes. Now, here's my question for you. If you were in charge, what would you do? Would you build a bigger wall, build a dam, or move the entire city to somewhere else? Because for thousands of years, that's the exact problems humans faced. And to be honest, the river have destroyed the civilization. Yet today, some of the biggest cities of this world sit safely beside them. And here's the question we will try to answer today. Can humans actually control rivers? Hello everyone, I am Ashutosh Kumar, a civil engineering student from BIT Maeslantkering, and welcome to ArchonForge, where we explore engineering that shape our world. So let's get started. So let's talk about that day when rivers reminded us that who's the boss. And I am talking about the deadliest floods in the human history that occurred in 1931, that too in China. Entire region disappeared underwater and millions of people were affected. And here's what most people miss. The river wasn't angry. It wasn't trying to destroy anything. They were doing what they naturally do. They carry water, lots of it. A river isn't just a line on a map. It's a living system. It expands, it shrinks, and it changes the course. And if we build where river wants to go, eventually the river usually wins. This flood forced people to ask a serious question, that if river is this much powerful, then is it even possible to control them? The real thing is humans keep building near rivers. Now here's the irony. The same river that destroyed the entire civilization initially helped humans to build one. They provided water, they provided food, they provided transportation, and they helped us to trade. It provided everything that early society needed. That's why people kept building beside rivers despite the danger. The benefits simply were too important. The problem was to figure out how to survive floods. You might be eager to know what was humanity's first solution to survive flood. Firstly, what would you do when rivers keep flooding your land? Do you know most people came up with the same answer. Build a wall, build a bigger wall. Cause it makes sense, it was cheap. These walls were known as levees. And honestly, it worked. At least for a while, cities expanded, farms grew, and people felt safer. But engineers eventually discovered a problem. And it's the same question I want you to think about. If you squeeze the garden hose, what will happen to the water? Exactly, it will move faster. And rivers behave the same way. The more you force them into smaller space, the more dangerous they become. And that's when engineers realize something important. Maybe controlling rivers isn't about stopping them. Maybe it's about managing them. Now, you might be concerned that how engineers actually controlled the river. This is where engineering changed everything. Instead of fighting water, engineers started learning how to guide it. Let's look at the three most important tools. First, the reservoir. Imagine it as a great giant storage tank. That's basically what reservoirs do. During heavy rainfall, excess water is stored instead of rushing downstream all at once. Without reservoirs, many cities would face much larger floods. Second is the spillway. But what will happen if the reservoir is full? That's where spillway comes in. Think of them as an emergency exit for water. They safely release excess water before it can damage the dam. Third, floodways and diversion channel. Now imagine a city sitting directly in the path of the flood. Instead of allowing water to enter the city, engineers created an alternate route. These channels divert water away from the polluted area of the city. The goal is to give it somewhere safer to go. And that's really a secret behind modern river engineering. Not control, but management. Now if there's one country that has mastered these ideas, it's the Netherlands. Large part of this country is at or below the sea level. For centuries, flood threatened entire community. In 1953, a disaster struck. A massive storm surge that flooded large areas of the country. More than 1800 people lost their life. For Dutch, it was the turning point. Instead of accepting the risk, they launched one of the most ambitious engineering programs in the human history, the Delta Works. A massive network of dams, locks, sleeves, storm surge barriers and the flood system. And one of the most important structure, the Maeslantkering, or in simple word, Maeslandt barrier. It's a gigantic, massive barrier to protect Rotterdam from a catastrophic flooding. When the danger approaches, the barrier closes down. And when the conditions are safe, it opens up again. Today, engineers around the world study this system because they represent humanity's greatest achievement to live safely alongside the water. Now, after seeing all of this, you might think that we have solved the problem. But have we? Not really. Because nature always gets a vote. Extreme storm happens, rainfall record get broken, climate change is making weather patterns harder to predict, and river continues to surprise us. That's why modern engineering isn't about eliminating the flood. It's about reducing risk, protecting lives and buying some time. So, can humans actually control the river? The answer is both yes and no. We can guide them, manage them, reduce their impact and protect millions of lives. But controlling them completely, that's a different story. Because rivers have shaped the civilization for thousands of years and they continue to remind us that nature is bigger than any structures that we build. Next time, whenever you see a calm river flowing through your city, remember, behind that peaceful water is the greatest engineering battles ever fought. The battle to understand the nature, the battle to live with it. Signing off from this video and will welcome you in the next. Before you go, let me know in the comments down below, do you think that humans will ever control the nature or nature will have the final say? Thanks for watching. Tada!